Welcome to Taste Porto Bites and Insights podcast. And today we have a very special guest. Welcome, André.
Hello.
How do you feel?
Really well. And you?
I'm feeling great.
Feeling good?
How's the city been treating you for over the past years or decades, if I might add?
Really well. And it's been amazing to see on how many people are falling in love with the city. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. This time of the year is gorgeous out there. Not just it's sunny and it's warm, but it's packed with people. And I love Porto with people. It's a due tribute to Porto.
20 years ago, when you finished your engineering degree, did you think of yourself ending up like an Epicurean?
No, damn, 20 years. I'm old. Uh, no, I thought that my career path was said and done. Engineering, I would go starting as a intern and then going through all of the stairs of engineering all the way to I don't know where. But never in my mind crossed the idea of, yeah, I'm gonna jump off of this and I'm gonna do food tours.
What was the definitive crossroad that swerved you in this direction?
Well, I'd say that there was always in me this infectious passion for gastronomy. Even working as an engineer, I love the fact that, look, I recall a lot of meetings, but I do recall even more vividly the meals shared with amazing people all over the world. I lived in Africa for 2 years in Angola, and the most beautiful moments I shared there were just around lunch or dinner table with random people.
Is it still truth that having a meal here it's kind of sacred because you gather all people around the table?
Well, I do feel that eating is far more than just ingesting nutrients.
Mhm.
So for me, that thing of, yeah, quick bite and go, that's just disturbing.
And is it true because you worked obviously in engineering and a great part of your past eating wise is related to lunch stops? Is it true that people in Portugal drink alcoholic beverages for lunch
Oh my
before
God.
building magnificent constructions? Is that correct to
Yes, it
say?
is. It's quite accurate,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, it is. Although I have to say that during my engineering days, I was not as keen on fermented beverages as I am nowadays.
I'm
But yeah,
sorry to have put you on a
no, you
rough
didn't put
spot.
me on the spot because, well, if there was at least beer available, I'd easily go for it. And I feel that um, it just allows you to steam off, just relax a bit. I had there was this one meal, intense morning meeting. A lot of people on talking and debating and arguing about a development. And this was an international meeting with people from England, from over here, from France. And all of a sudden, someone just says, yeah, lunch break. Okay. And everyone thought sandwiches are now being delivered to the table, maybe some salads. And the Portuguese crowd just stood up. Let's go. And they're like, go where? Lunch? Okay. So everyone went downstairs again with the mindset of a sandwich or a salad or a couple of slices of pizza, and that would be it. And we sat down at a restaurant, and they were like,
What is
what?
happening here?
Silverware now? What's happening? And appetizers come, and the main course
Because
come.
that's the thing. It's not like just having something to eat. It's the full
Hey, come on, an
menu.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
An hour and a half. That's, I would say,
Quite productive.
yeah, less than 45 minutes. What are you doing there?
How much, and because you're born and raised in Porto,
Mhm.
right? How much has the city offered you growing up?
Oh, so much. Look, Um, of course, that growing up, you never get the full picture of it, and I don't even know if now I have the full picture of it. But look, I my childhood and my teenage years, I lived across the river in Gaia, but ever so often I would cross to this side of the river. As a kid, my my mom would pick me up on Fridays, and we would come and meet dad that was working downtown Porto. And for me, arriving in Porto was like packed with mystery. This big city, big buildings. It felt like from I don't know. It felt out of this world. Um, and then as a teenage, uh, if I had a break during school, holidays, I'd come and visit Porto as well. And instead of looking like that gigantic, out of this world city, it felt like this is a mystery that I can dive in.
Yeah.
It felt accessible. And come on, you got this 900-year-old city in front of you. College was the moment in which I felt like my love for the city just popped open
Yeah. Developed, bloomed.
completely, bloomed completely. It all felt necessary.
Mhm.
And then when working as an engineer, living in Angola, I I missed Porto a lot. This sense of belonging that I feel with Porto was something that at that point I felt that I needed. I needed a daily shot of Porto in my veins.
You
So
feel there's a well-knit community in Porto, even if you're not from the city, if you visited with some, like with a routine, you belong,
you
part of the
belong.
urban tissue.
You belong. And people make you feel that. Although initially, uh, people, Porto inhabitants, they're like the granite of the city. They look gray and distant, but actually, within seconds, the comfort of their homes will be wide open to you. It's like, okay, we got this brick wall, but then, hey, you know what? Just come. We'll welcome you.
And growing up with those journeys and those walks over the city, do you recall any aroma, any scent, any food item in particular of growing up in Porto that is like it's tattooed to the back of your skull and you can never forget that aroma?
Yeah, there's one. Well, there are many, but there's one that strikes me immediately. I always describe Porto as a city that is rainy, windy, and foggy. You might not get these three
All
in
the good things.
all the good things. You might not get all these three in one day, but I love rainy days. I'm one of those that loves rainy days, loves foggy days, and in Porto, this mist
Mhm.
that comes diving from the ocean into the city brings this, I can't describe it, but this aroma of the fog mixed with the granite, mixed with the ocean kick into it.
You want to
It
talk seafood, right?
I love seafood. I
That's
can
where
talk
you're
I
getting
can
to.
talk seafood. I can
Well,
talk.
but before talking about seafood, the ocean breeze, that's what
Yeah,
you
I
mentioned.
do feel that. And I do recall those, I don't know, those days in which you go to the beach here, summertime, and all of a sudden you get there and it's foggy. There's that seaweed
Yeah.
uh aroma in the air. That thing is so imprinted in the back of my
Sargasso.
brain, sargasso, that whenever I feel it, I feel like, ah, home. I'm
Yeah,
home.
yeah. And you're now a proud father,
I am.
right? Uh, how's she pulling up?
Ah, she's growing
Okay,
up fast and
5 Francesinhas a week.
well, she hasn't had one. Huh?
We
She
have to
has.
solve that.
No, no, no. She has tried pica-pau
Hmm.
and she likes it. But so far, Francesinha still feels a little bit too much for her.
But
Uh,
what city do you feel is here for your daughter in the future? Future.
well, that's a nice question. I definitely feel that there are some ground values that should be given, partially from me, but also from the city. This sense of community,
Hmm.
that you're here for your brother, you're here for your neighbor. This sense of yeah, sticking together. And Porto has a lot to do with this. We go past these beautiful golden ages, and then we go deep into these foggy days. But we're always there. You know that the community will will back you up,
Mhm.
and that in Porto you'll have this community that gets stronger and tighter when the going gets tough.
You
Uh,
feel that even now with this huge volume of people coming and this huge development the city is feeling.
I feel so. Look, again, this is a golden era for us at this moment. It's definitely, if you look at the city, it's just blooming. It's beautiful to walk in the city. No one can say the other way around. And if you're saying it, you haven't been here uh, 15 years ago. Because if you were, you would look at this point and you'd say, "Oh, damn, it's so beautiful. It's
It
so
looks
good.
lively.
It's
It's
lively. It's
sizzling
yeah,
almost. Yeah.
yes. It's like, uh,
What are your favorite hidden gems that you like to show off to people coming here? Like
oh, that's so unfair. That's an unfair question. Because I got a list of like
if
400
you would have to
top
number
five.
like three.
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 Three. Okay. I'll do three. Um, I'm I'm a big fan of Taberna Sant Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Irmine and Vitor, they treat me like family. And I love the fact that you get there, the family's there. Irmine, Vitor, and the fact that you can definitely go and have amazing food like your mom would cook at home, and it's so easy. The menu changes daily, so there's always something teasing you to go there. The simple things. I love the soup there. The soup is just phenomenal. I'll I, I'll have it summer or autumn or winter or spring,
We
easy.
love our soup,
I love
definitely.
soup. We love our soups, but I love my soup there. So Taverna Sant Antonio, definitely. A gigantic fan of Solar Moinho de Vento. Damn, the rice stews that they make are so insane. They're so good. They're so.
Have a little bit of
I know. I'm sorry.
it's right.
I love rice. So if you ask me, rice, potatoes, pasta, rice. I can eat rice with rice. Plain, just rice with anything in it.
Rice
Just
sandwich with rice.
it's actually good. Solar Movement is amazing, and going into the tavern-ish thing, Casa Express is a place I love going to. Come on, that just you can have a sit in a table or just stand in the counter and
Hmm.
eat there. It's standing up, eating your okay, you're in a rush. You need to ingest nutrients. Just do it in style. Go to Casa Express and have a sandwich there, and just enjoy the vibe. You're standing up at the counter. You can Uber and see all of the tables and feel the energy there. I love it.
It's very funny that your three options of secret hidden gems, they all share something in common, which is the fact that they would be here 15
Yeah.
or more years ago, and not in a very different way, right? Um, the
No, no,
style would
no,
be
no, no, no.
practically
They
the
haven't
same.
changed much. They haven't changed much.
In over, and this is a big number, in over 5,000 hours guiding travelers through the city of Porto and the area around it, is there anything you've learned over the past few years since you started working with Taste Porto food tours?
First of all, you're making me feel old the second time today. Uh,
No, experienced.
experienced 5,000 hours. Okay. What I've learned to pay tribute to Porto on a daily basis because it not only does the city deserves that, the people that live in it deserve that do tribute to what Porto is about. I've learned that it's so easy to fall in love with Porto. It's so damn easy because it has everything. Uh, you just have to be with an open heart and just walk around. Just watch people going, do people watching, and you'll enjoy the flow of the city, the characters, and that walk in town. Um, and I've learned also that Although the landscape is gorgeous, definitely the people.
Mhm.
Definitely the people.
That's the wealth of the city, you would say?
By far. By far. There's no gold crest that would replace that. People are the thing.
And we're talking about this travelers and food options and the history and how old the city is, but you're an authentic tripeiro, right?
Yes, I am.
And as a tripeiro that created a food tour company or was involved in the foundation of the oldest food tour company in town, how's the weight on your shoulder of having to explain to everybody you don't eat francesinha for breakfast or you don't do that?
Well, I don't eat francesinha for breakfast. Although my cholesterol is remarkably high. No, I don't eat a francesinha for breakfast. No, you don't eat your francesinha with your hands. Don't do that. Uh, uh, no, I don't feel the weight. Well, I do feel the responsibility of being fair to the gastronomy, of paying the tribute, showing things as they are, and then you can do whatever you want with it. But my responsibility is to be fair to gastronomy. So no, for instance, for breakfast, unless you're
Unless it's not breakfast, it's a late
late.
supper.
Yes,
That's it.
unless you had a night out and you need a floating.
But never francesinha with meia de leite.
You're killing me there.
Well,
Hell no.
I had like a latte and a francesinha to the side.
No, you don't do that.
But it's
It's
curious that
disrespectful.
such a
I've seen it though.
such an old city with like these severe habits that it now has to adjust itself and adapt itself to the fact that people are free to do whatever they want.
Oh yeah.
And you've also hosted very special guests into the city. You hosted, and just to name a few, Anthony Bourdain, Rick Steves, and
Yeah.
more recently Mark Means.
Yeah.
How is it? Do you think all travelers share something similar when visiting a city like Porto?
Well, those three are avid for trying the gastronomy. So they're willing to expose themselves to whatever we can throw their way.
Hmm.
Either it's hardcore as it should be traditional Portuguese or twists of modernity into it. And I'm I believe that there's room for everything. Uh, if you ask me, um, should we all just stick to the presentations that we're used to and the flavors and the textures? No, I don't think so. I think that there's room for um, playing with those things. And I feel that that's the challenge on the new generation of chefs. It's not fancy up a francesinha. It's not just making it pretty and appealing. I feel it's pretty and appealing as it is. But I feel that, yeah, the challenge on them is maybe bring their knowledge, their exposure, because nowadays Porto has always been a city of merchants, so we're used to and we need that contact with the world, and we brought the spices here. So it's time again for us to bring that back into
Hmm.
gastronomy, playing with the knowledge of chefs that come from abroad and can show us different ways of playing with these ingredients.
It is a harbor city. It's always been a place of
Yeah,
arrival and departure, right?
no, and that's us.
Yeah.
That's I feel that that's us. That's Porto. It's not definitely a city that is in front of the ocean and has little to no connection with it. No, we're a nation of sailors, and Porto is a city of merchants. We sailed the world. We got back, and we've been doing it throughout the ages.
Hmm.
So that external influence is vital for us. It's been throughout the ages.
Is there any like a fun fact or trivia you always feel compelled to share to new visitors about the city of Porto?
Well, going to the foundations of our name, tripeiro, and the myths around us eating tripe. First of all, whenever I say tripe on a tour, people are like, "Oh, you barbarians!" half of the world goes like, "What?" Yes. Uh, but if you explain where it comes from. This poor man's food. Uh, I feel that they start breaking down those barriers of, oh my God, why do they eat cows' stomach and intestine? To, makes sense. And of course, that out of the 50% they go like, 20% are still like, I'm not gonna have that. And it's okay. It's pretty okay.
But what is the origin? What is the fun
Well,
fact about
fairy
them?
tales go around uh, the Civil War and the siege of the city, in which we were. There was a military siege, and the population didn't have access to cattle, so they had to use whatever they had in the city walls to eat. So as soon as the proper meat went down, they had to go into the organs, and tribes were it. It sounds disturbing because the military siege were being attacked by from the south.
Hmm.
North, there was little to nothing going on there. So you could easily go, okay, let's get some meat up there and it's solved. So I don't feel that that one is a good one. There was also the fairy tale about the discovery ages, so sailing the world, this golden age of sailing and sailors, and that we sent in those boats all of the animals, and we were stuck with nothing but the intestines to eat. Because those boats had refrigerated chambers in which the meat was fully preserved. And so we sent all of the loin and cheeks, and we stayed with the. Never happened. Never happened. They took live cattle with them. It's much easier
Hmm.
to preserve like that. And yeah, we're gonna run out ourselves on the good meat, and we're staying with nothing but intestines. Ooh, damn, those boats were packed with meat. No, never happened. So it doesn't feel like it's fair. I do feel that it comes from this poor man's cuisine approach, in which efficiency, if you're used to facing scarcity, oh, you're gonna eat everything that land, sea will give you to its full extent.
But it's curious again how a very ancient technique kind of resembles the new, more modern approaches to gastronomy of lowered food costs, no waste. So we're kind of going back,
Oh,
right?
we are.
And do you feel that in a city like Porto that's receiving so much at the same time and with so many people, there's really very, very diverse approaches to the same thing, which is provide great meals that people can enjoy with friends, with family, and be around the table and celebrate food as something good for the soul, not just for the body?
Well, I do feel, and it's again going back to those three places that I pointed out. I said, oh, it's unfair because at least the top five. Look, there are still also many places in town that you can go and just enjoy a meal like we're used to,
Hmm.
with no pressure of time, of meal rotations. Just go, get a group of friends, have a sit, enjoy. Enjoy life. Food will be there just to punctuate
Yeah.
with textures and flavors, but the real deal is taking place around the table. And that's why I'm a big fan of petiscar, eating petiscos, because it's a lighter mood, like a meeting with your friends would be about. It's like
Would you explain for an English audience what petit chicard is all about?
petiscar, in my opinion, is a communal way of eating. Look, a petisco is the equivalent of going for a Portuguese main course. That is usually a portion is this for two,
A pig.
big, big meal, and get the main ingredients of that and turn it into a smaller portion like
Hmm.
this, coming to the table in small plates with toothpicks in. Nowadays, no toothpicks, proper silverware, but you would share from that. So a table of six, I would bring 8, 10 petiscos to the table, and we would share from those tiny plates. And I love that communal way of eating.
You would say it would be just an excuse to continue talking,
Yeah,
maintain your mouth entertained, even if you're conversing,
and
conversing,
it's
right?
it's the sharing
Yeah.
thing. It sets the mindset. We're sharing, so the first thing that you do is, okay, what we're gonna eat. So everyone is getting their mindset there. And then all of a sudden, um, conversation starts, and you start sharing as well. And
As I was said, as I said, you had over 5,000 hours guiding tours. What was like the most memorable feedback you've ever had from a traveler on one of your tours?
uh, so many, but there's one that always strikes me. Um, at the very beginning of Taste Porto, in the first year or so, I was guiding a Saturday morning tour with just 4 participants, and two of them, uh, Esther and Marianne, um, from Holland, from Eindhoven. And I arrived, and Esther just points at me and goes like, "My expectations about this tour are really high. Go." And now, out of naiveness, I would say, I replied back with, "Okay, it has nothing to do with me. The city will take care of that." And we started the tour, uh, went through the market, uh, walking by downtown, going all the way to Mirador da Vitória. And when we get there, it's the visual there, the visual impact. It's huge. That viewpoint is just gorgeous. You see medieval Porto, Ribeira, the river right in front of you, no filters. And I got us there. I explained what we were seeing, and then I just step back, take a look, and Esther was in the back of the group, and she was like looking in the distance, and I just asked her, "Oh, so how about those expectations?" And all of a sudden, she just replies with, "When you're moved to tears, you've exceeded them." And I have to say, it was again all about Porto. And that one was amazing, seeing on how much the city can deliver.
Hmm. Is
Um,
there any particular magical moment you felt yourself without travelers, without guiding a tour, without friends, just because it's also a city that's perfect for solo travelers. It's
it's
for a
gorgeous.
solo experience. Getting lost in the city, it's one of the greatest pastimes you can actually do still in
Yeah,
Porto, even being from here.
yeah.
Is there any magical moment you felt, you've experienced particularly?
Well, I love walking in town. I love just meandering through the city, and um, I know that downtown Porto has this appeal. Everyone wants to just walk around here. Um, I have to say that there are some other places in town that are gorgeous to go to. One of them is Mirador Santa Catarina. Uh, Close to the river mouth, you have this stunning view, uh, river and ocean in front of
Hmm.
you. And I do recall the very first time that I went there. It's just plain beautiful, and it I felt crushed in that moment. No fog, no wind, no rain on that day.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. But just walking up there, and you feel that you're definitely in Porto, because although you're in Foz, you're walking this steep hills to get to that place, and then this narrow street to get to the square where the viewpoint is, and then it's like opening the door into
Yeah.
this gigantic ballroom. It's gorgeous.
Very well. It's funny how long we can stay here just talking about Porto, but obviously it's a bigger country, and I'm just curious, what other part of Portugal, if you had to advise someone, what other part would you advise someone to visit definitely
Part
of the country?
singular. Okay, so just one.
Just one. I'm very
I can see you're very
I'm
concise.
very
I am
controlling.
not. I I always feel like, okay, then my answer to that would be the rest of the country.
Yes. You can start from the north and then move your way through the middle and go to the south. We
Okay.
also have some islands that you can.
Um, okay. I'm gonna be utterly unfair with
Mhm.
the rest of the country. I'm terribly sorry. Uh, and I'm gonna say mm, the Azores.
Any island in particular?
The Azores. Because those 9 islands, they feel like 9 different units,
Hmm.
completely different. And it's so different from the rest that I would say that if, because it's easy. You visit Porto, you visit Lisbon, it's easy to access the rest. And the rest is just amazing. Just get a car, do a road trip because you'll be dazzled. From top to bottom, you'll be dazzled. Getting to the Azores, it's not as a natural segue. And I'd say, oh, damn, it should be. I love it. It's just gorgeous. And it's so different. Granted, you get a rainy day, but the landscape in the nine islands are so, it's so different. So yeah, it's
And just to finish it off, but trying to get something more, and without restrictions to the number of things you can
at
say,
last.
you're finally free. But
Yes.
there had to be funny moments in the tours that you've guided. So many tours, so many people. Is there like any particular moments that were dramatically funny that you can you laugh in an uncontrolled way whenever you recall what happened? Is there anything like that that you can share?
Yeah, easily. There are a lot, but I do recall that when we created the vintage store, initially it didn't have a port wine masterclass
Uh-huh.
at the end. So when we decided that, yeah, we're gonna end this with a port wine tasting, um, I was guiding that tour and I wanted feedback. As I say, feedback is vital for me. I only work with feedback because it allows me to evolve. At the end of that tour, group of 8 or 10, can't recall. And after the wine tasting, everyone drinking the wine, relaxing a bit. I already had closed down the speech part of the tour. I look at them and I say, okay, this is the first time that we're doing this. And I would like to know on a scale of 0 to 10, how drunk are you at this point? 0, sober, what the hell, we didn't drink. 10, I'm about to dance on the table. And everyone was going for a 5 to 7, 6 to 8, roughly, which is pretty okay. That's what I aim at.
Still managed to go back to the hotel.
Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna stumble down the street. But there was this one lady uh, that she was left for last, and she was just rolling the glass, looks me in the eye, and goes like, "Honey, I'm a solid 26." Still today, when I recall the moment, I'm like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" So what I usually say is, people eat the food, drink the beverages, but
Uh,
eat the food.
everything's controlled.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a balance here, but that one was a really cool one.
To finish, what's your like biggest expectation to the future years? What do you feel the city reserves us and visitors in the coming maybe decade or so?
I feel that the biggest challenge on us is being truthful to Porto's foundations, because that's the one thing that will keep people interested in coming back. So if you can do that, if we can prove to people that you can still visit Porto and still feel the city as it is in its heart and soul, then we'll be pretty okay. And that's the biggest challenge, is not to change the cool stuff that we have here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a huge pleasure to be doing this with you.
Likewise.
I have a small token of
Oh,
appreciation.
wait.
It's a swallow.
Oh,
Yeah, swallow that has little Taste Porto
oh,
icon right over here. You know what it means.
I
Maybe
do.
you can explain even the relevance of a swallow to us Portuguese.
Yeah, a symbol of family and coming backs. They nest for life in one place.
Yeah.
And when they fly south, when they come back, they go straight to the same place. So it means that that place is home, and that when you offer it to someone, you're part of that someone's home. So thank you for this, Taste Porto.
Thank
Thank
you
you, Ricardo.
so much, André.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is our episode for today. We'll be coming soon with more episodes. Make sure you're ready.